Hello, everybody. Listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. It's your boy 2K Suave. I'm here with Mr. Alex Rodriguez, and we have our special guest, Mr. Mike Pless. How are you? First of all, we'll leave A-Rod alone. Mike, how are you doing? I missed you dearly.
I missed you guys. It's great to be back on the podcast, start the new year right. And this is 50th episode, so I'm honored to be a part of it.
You were one of our mainstays on the show, so just know there's a reason why you're on episode 50. Trust me.
Thank you, guys.
And Alex, hi.
Yeah, exactly. Co-host always last to talk. It's okay though. Thank you, Mike, for jumping on. We really appreciate it, man. 50 episodes, man. We started this basically a year ago, and now we're a year into it. So it's been a long, fun haul the whole time. So looking to go another 50 more. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
But yeah, so episode 50. We're gonna run down week 16 and 17 since we took a week off. We really want to talk about week 16 football, as Pless kind of told me on this side. He's like, you might not want to talk about that. But for those keeping track of our Pickems, we're just gonna go over and see who was right and wrong in that. We'll talk about week 17 and an 18 preview. What teams are still alive to make the playoff hunt. And then we got, old cool guy behind me over here deciding to call it quits at the end of the Jets. During the Jets and Bucs game. So we'll talk about the Antonio Brown saga and all the stuff that's surrounding him right now in the media. Our next segment will go on little rants. KK's got a rant he wants to go on. I got my own little rant I want to go on, and I'm sure Mike's got one too. So we'll go into some little rants. And then after our rants, we're going to do some New Year's resolutions that are regarding to sports. So it'll be open discussion between the three of us on our resolutions as far as the sports outlook on things. And then last segment will be another fun segment of the Pickems for week 18. And we got one little bonus one in there as well to throw in. So let's take it away.
Mike, I need you. What's the score right now with our Pickems right now?
As of now, you are leading 35-39.
Okay. So I was going to say, Mike, if you want to come up with the punishment for the loser, by all means, I'm giving you the floor. What should the punishment be for the loser of our 2021, early 2022 Pickems?
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure. I don't know. I mean, as Alex says, I'm probably too nice to give out a punishment. So
by the end of the show,
I'll try to think of something.
All right, A-Rod, what we got going on today? We got all that stuff. Okay. All right.
So let's dive into our week 16 real quick with the Pickems. We'll just stick at that. So San Fran, Tennessee, we both picked San Fran. We both got that wrong, so we're awarded 0 points. Cleveland, Green Bay. We both said Green Bay. That's 1 point for each of us. Indiana, Arizona. I was high on Baby Yoda. You said there's something in the Kool-Aid in Indianapolis. You get a point there. Jacksonville, New York. I'm always betting against my team. You get the point there. And then Buffalo, New England. We both said New England. We both get 0 points there.
And I was a little shaky about that one. I remember. I was like, Buffalo's not going to lose twice to New England. I don't know.
Yeah. So that brings your total up 39-35 out of 66 right now. But yeah, let's dive into a recap of I guess week 17 of everything that happened. I felt like all in all, it was kind of like a meh week for me. However, if you're like in the finals for your fantasy teams, there was a lot of big name players there. I'll get into that in a rant a little bit later on that, but Jamar Chase fucking went off. Russell Wilson, probably his last game as a Seahawk, he decided to go off. We got to see Big Ben's last game, potentially at home as a Steeler. He's probably going to call it quits. And then, old boy back here decided to just say, hey, enough's enough, I'm out. So,
and I guess we're not going to mention the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles clinched a playoff spot on Sunday. I guess we're just gonna brush over that, right?
I left that off just so you could happily say that, because I wanted you to talk about that.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. That's all.
We are on the same page, because I'll give you that. You were saying that there is a chance, and it's been like this with you with this. There's not a chance. We are.
A-Rod. if you
So
go back and listen, I said, I don't understand what all the disrespect is towards this team. I said, I think we're going to win between 7 and 9 games. And it looks like we're going to finish with 9 because I don't think we're playing our starters against the Cowboys who want to play their starters because smart, right? That's what Jerry Jones wants. So I knew our team was going to be good. I looked at our schedule. I know what our strengths were as our offensive and defensive line and our running game. And I kind of figured that's what we're going to do if we had any common sense. And we got off to that 2-5 start simply because we were trying to get too cute. And Nick Sirianni, the first-time coach, he thought he can get too cute in the National Football League as a head coach, and didn't work. So we brought it back to how it's supposed to be, ran the damn football. Jalen Hurts looks like a franchise quarterback now because they tailored a playbook towards him, like I kept saying every week. I don't know why we're not playing it to his skills. And Devontae Smith, he's looking good as a number 1 receiver. I'm ready to get rid of Jalen Reagor for a toaster, air fryer. I don't really care. Outside of that, I'm a happy Eagles fan. I'm proud of this team. I heard the media. Everyone kept saying we're going to finish last in the division. And no. I didn't say you did. I said the media.
No, I know. I just think that's a horrible assumption.
I was hearing 5 wins. I was hearing everything. I was like, okay, all right, cool. And I pinned my tweet. I have a tweet on September 4th. I said, I know we have a lot of issues, but I don't understand the disrespect, and I think we're being massively slept on. Go ahead, check the Twitter feed. It's on there. I said it's September 4th. Yeah. Anyway, you two guys played against each other this weekend. So how you feeling about your team, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things. Once again, it was you got to give credit to the Jets. I thought they did a lot of good things. They played well against us, especially the first half. I thought they brought the intensity. The Bucs, started matching that in the second half, started doing a little different things. They played more zone coverage in the second half where they pretty much should have been doing that the whole game. Make Zach Wilson, make decisions back there, not give him the first read. They finally did that. They started getting some stops. And then, Tom Brady with the ball in his hands at the last, final 2 minutes, usually that's a recipe for a good outcome. And that's what happened. But the rest of the week, I look at, Cincinnati Bengals, great congratulations to them, clinching the division.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is a stud along with Jamar Chase. Congrats to your Eagles. Again, like you said, they're playing to their strengths. They have they have the best rushing attack in the league. And that's what they should have been doing all along. I mean, their offensive line is a strength. And when you have a defensive line that can get after the quarterback like they do, good things happen when you do that. But yeah, I'm in agreement with what you guys said. The week was kind of, it was okay. But I think that the teams that needed to win got big wins, and it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, actually, want to really quick with the Cincinnati Bengals. That was another team that people kind of poo-pooed on in the offseason. I included, I didn't think I know we all had our things with them, and I knew offensively they would be fine. I didn't think they'd be able to protect Joe Burrow all year.
They haven't.
So I thought that would be the reason why they wouldn't be able to do anything.
That's what makes it amazing. I mean, the guy's been sacked 51 times and he still put up the numbers that he has. I mean, over 4,600 yards, 30, something touchdowns, only 14 interceptions. I mean, dude's legit, and they have a great receiving core where Jamar Chase can take over, T. Higgins can take over. Tyler Boyd. So a lot of studs there, and defensively they do enough where they can get by.
You think Joe Burrow's top 5?
He's entering the conversation of top 10. I think. I don't know if top 5's there yet, but he's on.
I've been hearing it this week, so I'm like, okay, let's.
He's on his way. He's very pinpoint with his accuracy. He's more athletic than he's given credit for. I think there's some little things that he still has to learn, but again, only second year, he's just going to continue to grow. And I think once you get into year 5, we're probably talking about him as one of the top quarterbacks in this league.
He's got to be like a candidate for most improved too, man. I would say
for sure.
From an ACL tear and then just tearing it up the last 2-3 weeks, man. He's just gone bonkers. That's
1,000 yards in 2 weeks.
He's. We don't talk bad about Joe Burrow. I don't think we ever talk bad. We just don't believe in the Bengals as a whole. as what they're doing, because it's
Historically.
just historically what we saw last season. And in my opinion, it was like, it's panning out now. The pick is definitely panning out now of Jamar Chase. But if your quarterback gets sacked that many times and he's first overall and he's a franchise, you want him to smoke as many cigars as you can get him to smoke, get him some protection. And Sewell was definitely that guy. But the Jamar Chase tandem is definitely elite. It's an elite quarterback wide receiver compliment right there. But it's a tough division too. We were high on the Browns. You picked the Browns to go to the Super Bowl.
Big mistake.
You've since then retracted that statement.
I did say only if Baker Mayfield could not screw it up.
Right. And he screwed it up.
He screwed it up.
No commercials, then he has wins, man. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's just not very good.
He's just not. I think also we'll get to see a clean slate next year with no OBJ, no black cloud in the locker room, hopefully, because the defense on paper is a stout defense. When you look at it and you go from top to bottom, the offense it's easy. Just feed Chubb. That's all you got to do. And then if Chubb gets figured out, you got Kareem Hunt there, and get another complimentary wide receiver and bring in competition for Baker Mayfield next year. Make him feel like, I'm a first round pick. I got to play like a first round pick. Holy fuck, what is Josh McCown doing here? Why is Josh McCown flying in from Texas Ranch to come over here? Do something to get him like fired up.
Yeah,
but
I think they need to draft a receiver early. I don't know if Jarvis Landry even wants to be there anymore. I think his days are pretty much over in Cleveland. And you need some, Donovan Peoples-Jones, go Science University of Michigan. He's a good receiver, but he can't be your number one. I'm sorry, that's just not going to work out. There's some pretty good Ohio State running back. Wide receivers coming out of this draft. There's some guys from Alabama coming out of this draft. So I think they need to just target them early, and because the rest of the team is fine besides Baker Mayfield and kind of now the receiving core. You have a great offensive line, you have a great defensive line, you have solid secondary, good linebackers,
three good tight ends, three great tight ends.
We have the team on paper is fine. Baker just needs to be, and this whole notion that and I know you don't really care about OBJ. OBJ is having a fantastic season with the Rams, or half of the season with the Rams. So this notion that OBJ was a black cloud in the locker room, I don't believe that. I just think Baker Mayfield is a horrible quarterback.
I just think if you go from a losing culture to winning culture, your mood changes really quick.
No, I just think Baker Mayfield is a bad quarterback.
I think he's a bad
I don't know how else to
quarterback.
put that. I don't know how else to put that. I was watching that Monday Night Football game, and he's a little banged up, but that looked worse than banged up. Like, that looked like an incompetent quarterback. And then the Packers game on Christmas, I watched that. Like, those are two standalone games in a row that I've watched of him, and I'm like, all right, he's not going to be able to overcome any kind of chaos or animosity. Like, you see, like Tom. I know he's not. Obviously, we're talking about Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, right? But he loses his number one this and number two that, and running backs and this, that, and the third. He has no timeouts at the 3-7 yard line.
About it.
I'm just saying, that isn't like that's somebody who's able to overcome adversity. If Baker Mayfield was given the same situation, they would have lost every game for the rest of the season when Chris Godwin went out. It's plain and simple. It's just, that's like the difference. And I'm not obviously Tom Brady is a huge name to compare him to, but I think Deshaun Watson, when he went, he led the league in passing yards and touchdowns or whatever with no receivers to throw the ball to. Obviously the team sucked, but he didn't look incompetent. And that's the difference. Like, if Deshaun Watson was on the Cleveland Browns team, this specific Cleveland Browns team, I think they'd probably be favorites in the AFC, in my opinion. And it's that, even with or without OBJ, and it's that simple. So, I don't believe in that OBJ notion that he's not he's a black cloud. He's still a solid receiver.
I didn't say I don't think he's a solid receiver. I think he is. I just think that if things aren't going the way OBJ wants him to go, OBJ is going to show it, and it's not a good fit for the locker room. Like, if it doesn't pan out to OBJ, get him the fuck out of there then. And they did that, and he's doing well because it's a winning culture. But if the Rams lost every game while he was there, I guarantee you there'd still be that, Man, Dad, pick up that phone, tweet something from me, man. Give me something. Bring in AB. Bring in ABD. Come on.
Mike, all right,
Yeah.
Mike, do you look at the Rams as, all right, we have to be afraid of them a little bit?
Rams are tricky because you look at Matthew Stafford, especially the last couple of weeks. It's been, tale of two halves really for him. He's been a stud in the fourth quarter, and I think that's really what has made the difference for them. They're starting to get back to their running game. Obviously getting Cam Akers back.
Knees.
Yeah, yeah. Michelle has knees.
Yeah, where did this come from? Fountain of youth. He's young still, but fountain of youth.
Yeah, he's still a good running back, and obviously getting Cam Akers back is going to be huge for them. And so looking them as a threat, yeah, absolutely to the Bucs for sure, because the Rams just match up well against us. They know how to coach against us, and Sean McVay really knows how to attack our defense. And when you have a guy like Cooper Kupp who's on the verge of almost getting 2,000 yards receiving, and the way he gets open. I would say their weakness for the Rams aspect is obviously the Stafford inconsistency, and then also their running defense for their team can be, taken advantage of.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because I'm looking at, as an Eagles fan, potential matchups. It's either probably the Rams or you guys. And
I hope you guys play the Rams.
I'm like, who would I rather have to deal with? So like you guys, your secondary is not that great. And I don't know if your pass rush is healthy. So I'm like, okay, well, we can't really run the ball how we want to against you guys. But I just saw Michael Carter go for $150 against you guys or something.
Yeah. Well, we're missing.
He ripped a 52-yard run and then went out the game. So
correct. So yeah, you guys are missing a couple key pieces, but how healthy are they going to be in the first round? I don't know.
Right.
And then the Rams, I know we can run the ball on them, but I don't think we can stop their weapons. And you guys have a little bit less weapons right now, so we can. Because the last game we played, you guys, we held Mike Evans to 2 catches for 27 yards, and I think Darius Slay he's going to give Mike Evans a lot of headaches, especially if Mike Evans is a little banged up. So like, I'm like, all right, do I want to deal with all these no-name receivers? I feel more comfortable dealing with no-name receivers rather than Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, newly refined Sony Michel knees, Cam Akers. That's a lot. Wow. That's a lot to deal with. So.
Well, let's not forget about Robert Gronkowski now.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is still a beast, and he just went, for 7 catches, 115 yards. I think he can still take advantage of, certain matchups, especially against linebackers and safeties. Eagles or, whoever the Bucs face in the first round, Eagles and 49ers, I see as very similar teams, and it would be a tougher matchup. Any of those guys, I think.
Get the Saints again. No, I don't think so. Never mind.
We could play the Saints, and that'd be a nightmare for me personally, because the Saints they have our number for whatever reason. But again, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and that's what happened last year. So
I'll never forget it.
But facing the Eagles or the 49ers would be tough for the Buccaneers. But I'm hoping Levante David comes back and we get some of these guys back, because we desperately need them. Teams have figured out that they can run to the outside against us, because the middle is just impossible to do with Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh there. So teams are really just running to the outside, running a lot of outside zone. They're doing a lot of misdirection with the counter motions and running it the opposite way. And Michael Carter did a great job in there when he was there. And then there are other running backs also did a good job, just finding the lanes and getting the cutbacks.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely like, so however these games play out this weekend, because I looked at this thing on ESPN where it's like, you can kind of generate the playoffs based on who wins what game. So I've been trying to just kind of play around to see, what kind of matchups they could possibly be. Is there like a first round matchup you think, or both of you guys think, would be like a very intriguing matchup on both the AFC and the NFC?
That's a good question. Obviously, the Cowboys and the Cardinals, if they match up again, I think that would be very cool to see in the first round. On the AFC side, I think the Cincinnati versus New England is a very intriguing matchup. I think that would be something fun to watch.
I saw Buffalo, New England as a strong potential as well.
Okay.
As a round 3 kind of game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that whoever New England faces, I think that will be just something to watch, see what Mac Jones can do, especially against, game plan week and a strong defense that he'll probably face on the other side.
You hear right?
I mean, I agree with what he says, but I think what I'm more intrigued is like week 18 is rivalry week.
Mhm.
So a lot of these teams are trying to make a fight to make it into the playoffs.
Right.
And the one that sticks out to me most is San Diego at Vegas, because
LA,
whoever wins
LA.
that game.
Oh, do you guys know about that crazy scenario?
There's like a lot of them out there.
So no. So there's a scenario.
Pittsburgh.
So yeah, there's a scenario where if, and I know it's crazy, but Jacksonville could very well beat Indianapolis because Indianapolis is either hot or cold. They do.
Stat, Indy hasn't gone in there and beat them since like 2016 or something like that.
It's 2014.
Yeah.
So if Jacksonville wants to go out with a bang, like screw it, let's win for our interim coach. They could beat the Colts, right? Mm-hmm. And in Pittsburgh, if they beat Baltimore, the only way the Chargers or the Raiders make the playoffs is if they tie. And they're the very last game of the season. So do you think it's you guys are both, I'm talking to you like your coaches right now, right? Before the game starts, you realize, wow, the Jags beat the Colts and the Steelers beat the Ravens. And we're both about to play a game right now. Do you call the other coach like, hey, if we both tie, we both make it. If we don't tie, if neither of us tie, neither of us make it. Like neither of us win. If either of us win, we can't make it. But if we both tie, we can make it. What would you do in this scenario?
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that was an actual possibility.
That is a possibility. That is literally a scenario.
And they're the Sunday night game as well.
The last game of the season, standalone game on NBC.
That's pretty crazy. I wonder if that does take place, man. They definitely think about it. I don't know. Well, I mean, if I guess one of them wins, they're both out then.
Yeah, if one of the wins are both out.
Wow,
it's a weird situation.
Man.
they both make it if they tie.
Well, I guess they got to cheer for cheer for Indianapolis. I guess hope they win. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what you do in that.
I don't know what I would do. I'm like, bro, why tie? Just kneel down and.
Yeah, I guess you just put in the backups and just play till overtime tie, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe they got that memo when that happens on Sunday night. We get like a good first half, and then it just becomes who's just tied with the backups type thing.
Roger Goodell will fire both staffs. Everybody has to go. This is our standalone game. No, we're not. Because remember last year how everyone got on the Eagles because we pulled Jalen Hurts and. Oh my God! How dare you? Well, it's the same scenario that could happen.
So I guess if they don't tie, then I guess it would be the Colts and the Steelers that get the last spots.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
The Steelers. I don't know what the situation with Lamar Jackson is. I mean, he's obviously hurt, so I don't know if he's going to be able to play.
I feel bad for him in that entire situation. Yes. I never thought they've done right by him, and I don't think they have still. Obviously losing the running backs that they did and losing the offensive lineman, that hurts.
Losing your corners, your whole secondary, Marcus Peters and
but I just feel like they try to make him something that he's never going to be. And it's kind of like, in the Jalen Hurts situation, like don't force him to be something that he's not going to be, let him play to, what he likes to do. And sometimes they do that a little more, but I think they try to force him, to be that pocket passer that he's just, it's not taking place.
I think they need to open up the playbook a little bit more too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will, but I also appreciate Harbaugh for listening and trusting his quarterback because he always runs things by him. We saw like 2 or 3 plays this year. He was like, do you want to go for it? Or what do you think we should do? And he listens to his quarterback because that's a good tandem to have.
It worked in the beginning of the season, but those last 3 losses that they have is because they kept trying to go for 2 in overtime or to avoid overtime. And that's the difference between them making the playoffs and them not making the playoffs. Even with Huntley, like Huntley has been a godsend for them because although they've been losing, they still look like a formidable team. Like they're pushing everyone to the brink. It's just the other team has Aaron Rodgers or the other team has Matthew Stafford, and obviously it's tough to overcome all of that. So
their team, from looking on the outside, looking in, like beginning of the season, one running back. after the other running back, after the other running back, after the other. So you got to put more pressure on Lamar to run the ball now. And you want, everyone's like, oh, we want to see this great arm of his. We want to see him become like a pocket passer. So he's not going to do that. So, and then Marcus Peters tears his shit. And then the other DB tears his. So like, it's a bunch of unfortunate events. And I feel like it's kind of like, you know, it definitely does come down to coaching. I'm not arguing that. Like the mistakes that Harbaugh made on trying to go for 2 on those last 3 games, whatever, that's definitely biting him in the ass. However, like they're coming against all adversary and they could still make the playoffs, which is still,
and they still could. It's still possible. And if you go back and listen to the episodes when we did our previews, again, I think I'm always on to something. I said the Baltimore Ravens will win 8 or 9 games because there are way too many injuries for them to overcome. And that's when just the running backs and Marcus Peters went out. Not to mention everything that's happened after that. So they're at 8-8 right now, I think, something like that. So 8 or 9 wins, and we'll see how the cookie crumbles on Saturday and Sunday. But but all in all, though, I will give. I think the Ravens and the Steelers, I think they did a really good job coaching this year, because the Steelers had a lot to overcome as well. And somehow with Big Ben's horrible, like he has no more velocity. He's clearly ran down and old. Mike Tom's going to have another season of not having a losing record. And I think that's really impressive.
Yeah, it is.
We know Pless came from the Bucks tree. We know
he did. I was watching the old Bucks game the other day, and I saw him on the sideline, like 33 years old. I'm like, man, that's Mike Tom.
Yeah. No, it's impressive. And, you know, back to Alex's point, I think, like he said, you know, the rivalry games this week is going to be something to watch. You have, you know, obviously the Raiders and the Chargers, I think, is a great place to start. That's going to be a huge game on Sunday night. And then, you know, Rams 49ers, I think that's huge because 49ers have to win to get in the playoffs. And, you know, the Rams want to win to secure that number 2 spot. You have, you know, the Falcons and Saints fighting for playoffs, you know, Falcons trying to be that spoiler. You know, so just that's
a very tough game because the Falcons are not a bad team. They played pretty deep, like without Calvin Ridley and all the stuff they're going through. Like they played pretty solid this year. So, and I don't know, like, what am I supposed to think of Taysom Hill? Like, I have no idea what to expect from him. Like, I mean, he's not bad, but he's not good. Yeah. So it's like,
well, right now for them, it's the Alvin Kamara show, and that's how it should be. He's their best player. They're going to force feed him. He's really their only hope for scoring points right now. Defensively, they're outstanding. They play really good defense. Their front 4 is on fire right now. Cam Jordan with I don't know how many sacks in the last couple of games. So
Davenport too, man.
Yeah, Davenport's playing well.
I mean,
they have a lot of guys up front. Demario Davis.
We have a front 4 that can get to the quarterback, aka Tom Brady's kryptonite.
Yes.
Like I've been telling people this since
we just get out coached against them. Our coaching staff can't match up with them.
Yeah, but it's I don't know why, but I think the Bucs, they try too hard to want to pass the ball too much because when you have a front 4 that can get to the quarterback, when you get to the front 4 that can get to the quarterback that easily, just run the ball and just make them think differently. Like force feed Rojo. We'll see if playoff Letty can come back, but force feed him. See what you can get because Tom Brady
preaching to the choir right now.
Tom Brady does not like to be thrown on his back. It's just not. He lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants for the exact reason. Like they kept putting him on his back. Like it's the Eagles. We weren't even that. We have a good front 4, but we weren't even getting to him that game. But we made one play, strip sack in the 4th quarter, and we won the Super Bowl because of that one play. So it's just get him on his back, to overcome that, run the football. Like it's like I don't know. It sounds so simple, but I feel like Bruce Arians is so stubborn. He just wants to throw it, and Brian Leftwich wants to throw it. And they just want to drop back 50 times a game for a 44-year-old quarterback, and that just does not make sense to me. So
they're doing it for the stats. They want it for the stats. They want Tom Brady to be the oldest guy to, lead the league.
I believe that. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, he's going to be, 5,000 yards this year, over 40 touchdowns, probably, only 12 interceptions. So
and still not win MVP.
Yeah, probably not. They'll probably go to that Aaron Rodgers guy, or I personally think it should be Cooper Kupp. What he's done is amazing.
It's
Or
like the
Jonathan
Heisman.
Taylor.
It's like a
Yeah.
Heisman. It's the quarterback award, unless somebody does something insane. And
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp has been pretty insane this year, but
Right.
you're gonna give it to the quarterback. It's just when in doubt, vote for the QB.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yep. So of the teams that are still alive, there's one in the NFC, or no, there's two in the NFC. San Francisco and New Orleans are fighting for a push for the last seed there. But the Chargers, Raiders, Colts, Steelers, and Baltimore are still alive in the AFC. Of those teams, of the two in the NFC, who do you see excelling and going into the last seed into the playoffs?
Man, it's tough because
that's actually a very tough one.
It's two divisional games on that.
Yeah.
They're all divisional.
Yeah. It's tough
the 49ers have the Rams number.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
So
the 49ers match up very well against the Rams. I forget where that game's being played. I think is it in Los Angeles this week?
The game is being played at SoFi.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that gives Los Angeles a little bit of an edge, but again, the 49ers are well coached. Kyle Shanahan, I think, is a mastermind when it comes to offense, and he knows how to put guys in great position. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. As far as a better chance, I would probably say the Saints right now, just because they're playing a lesser opponent in the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have a good opportunity of winning that game.
Yeah, for me, it's the same. I think the 49ers could win the game, but I think that number 2 seed means a lot more to the Rams right now, because they've made all these offseason acquisitions. They have so much to prove, and everyone's getting on Matthew Stafford for all his pick sixes and all his first half mishaps. And I think this is a game where they kind of just put it all together. Jimmy Garoppolo's a little banged up. And if it's not Jimmy Garoppolo, it's Trey Lance, and maybe that helps. Maybe that actually helps the 49ers a little bit more. But I think they're going with Jimmy G regardless. And in a win, basically, it's like a winner take all kind of game, because you're either making the playoffs or you're getting a 2 seed. And I think the Rams would probably take that one a little bit more seriously at home. I remember when the Bucs played the Rams. Was it week 2 or week 3?
Week 3. Yep.
Yeah. That crowd is pretty damn crazy. So a game that with that kind of magnitude, and obviously remember last year with the Bucs, playing a home game for the Super Bowl. I think like the Rams fans are starting to feel that like we can play a home game for the Super Bowl. So they're going to be out there in numbers for that last game of the season. So I think the Rams will beat the 49ers, and then I think the Saints. I think the Saints should beat the Falcons. They should very well beat the Falcons. So I don't even know if Kyle Pitts is even playing, because Kyle Pitts got hurt in that last game. He left early. I don't know if he came back, but if Kyle Pitts is not even playing, then it's the Saints game to lose at this point.
Yeah, I would say the one matchup to look out for in the Rams and Niners is obviously Nick Bosa going against that offensive line, and he can wreck the game for sure. So really, I think that's the main thing for the Niners. Obviously, I think Trey Lance is going to get the start, and I think that could benefit them. They're going to try to pound the rock and see what can happen. But both contests, I think, should be very good and fun to watch. That's what makes it very exciting this week, as these teams try to get into the playoffs.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I was trying to see like what time the games are at, to see if like anybody would think any different. 4:25 kickoff for the Rams 49ers, and then Falcons, and they're both 4:25 kickoffs, so they're both gonna have to give it their all that game. So dual screens for sure.
Let's shift AFC. What do you guys think of the 5 teams that can get in on the AFC? Which 2 are going to be in? So Vegas and the Chargers are the last game of the season. They're playing for spots. Indy has to play Jacksonville. Indy, the stat was 2014. They haven't beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville since 2014, which is crazy. And then Pittsburgh and Baltimore have to play each other to get in for a spot.
It's crazy. It's literally 7 versus 8 and 9 versus 11. So it's like, man, the Colts are going to beat the Jags. I know that stat sounds. It's Jonathan Taylor. They didn't have Jonathan Taylor in 2014, 15, 16, or 17, or 18. And then Carson Wentz is, I have my things with him, but he's I just don't think he's gonna lose to Jacksonville the last game.
Right.
And if he does, honestly, they need to just get rid of him now and cut bait. So
Yeah.
I think the Colts will lock that up.
Is it simple for the Colts if they win, they're in, right?
Yeah, Colts win. They're in.
Okay.
That's all you got to worry about. Just win and get in.
I think they win then.
So I got the Colts, and then it's Chargers and Raiders. Because at the end of the day, that whole crazy scenario I mentioned earlier, it's not going to happen because Jacksonville is not losing. It's not beating the Colts. So because that's the way it has to start. So it's Chargers and the Raiders last game of the season. Man, before we get into this, can we talk about Derek Carr really quickly? What that man has done, like he's so weird to analyze because he's either decent, very good, or it's just like you don't know what you're gonna get. But no matter what, that Raiders franchise is a dumpster fire because so much stuff happens to them, and he's the face that keeps it all together. Somehow, for the last how many years he's been there, he's kept it all together. He had that one season with Amari Cooper where he was one of the runner-ups for MVP. But then seasons after that, he doesn't look as good. For this team to be 9-7 with everything that's happened with Gruden and Ruggs, their cornerback just got a DUI after they won. The John Madden just passed away. Like so much is happening to an organization, and they just find a way to just keep on keeping on. So, and I think the Chargers are a way better team than they're a way better team than the Raiders. But to me, Derek Carr and then what's his name from Hunter Renfrow. So like Hunter Renfrow is like somebody we're not talking about. Like what he's doing this year is crazy. So I just have a weird feeling that we're looking at the Raiders stealing this one. So I think I got the Colts and the Raiders somehow, and I don't even want to. I think the Chargers are a way better team, but it's just something about Derek Carr. Sometimes
the better team doesn't always win. Correct. And I think I agree. I look at the Colts. I think they're going to get in. Is the Raiders game being played in Las Vegas?
Yeah,
it is. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Raiders as well. I think they find a way to pull up that, get that win.
It's being played. It is being played. Yeah, it is being. Oh yeah, that's. Oh wow,
man. I know my stuff. Come on.
Yeah, that's
stat me. Stat me. Don't stat that. Stat me.
That is an added bonus, honestly. The fact that the game is being played in Las Vegas, where the Super Bowl is going to be in a couple of years. It's looking like go ahead and continue. I'm gonna see what the line is saying right now.
I think I'm in the same like boat as you guys. Like the Raiders have had everything thrown against them, and they still find a way to win. From the toxic work environment to careless players to a Hall of Fame coach and most prolific Raider of all time passing away. They find ways to stick with it, and just like KK said, everything starts with the quarterback first. You start nitpicking at the quarterback. That's the guy you're going to look at. And it's like Derek Carr every time wants to smoke. When Ruggs did what he did, he still found a way to say something nice. When John Gruden did what he did, he still found a way to say something nice.
He's the nicest guy I've ever come across as a quarterback.
And we literally shit on this guy every week that we say the Derek Carr effect. Like he's not that good.
I'm guilty.
But when you look at his numbers and you analyze them, he's putting up solid numbers with a mediocre offense. Like when Waller is there, that's obviously his number one receiving threat. And Waller's been out for what now? 4 games, 5 games? It's definitely taking.
They beat the Colts. The Colts came off of an impressive victory against the Patriots. With no Darren Waller, the Raiders still found a way to beat the. It just doesn't make it's mind-boggling, honestly, how they're able to keep doing this.
It's any given Sunday, like I always say, man. Anything can happen on something. Dude, the Jaguars beat the Bills. Come on, the Jaguars beat the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills are. You know how I told you about. We talk about
doesn't
Josh
matter.
Allen.
They're still
talking about Josh Allen. You know how inconsistent he just played against the Falcons. He just played against the Falcons, and he had 3 interceptions and no touchdowns. How they won that game, that's who knows. But
he ran the ball.
But yeah, I mean, the Chargers are 3-point favorites right now. So
I personally believe that. I've been saying it all year, like the Chargers, and then you started telling me, oh no, they're good, and then we got them in fantasy and they suck. Like the Chargers defense is not that good. It's not that good. The
You wanted to
secondary,
pick him up that 1 week. I was like, no.
exactly, because I was listening to what you were saying.
Let's not do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I picked him up in my league, and I still won with a negative 3 points. It doesn't matter. So all I'm saying is that like that defense is not that good. That Raider defense is like mediocre at best. They got a good front line. Secondary is, but you know, it's what's wrong with the Chargers in my perception is new head coach, young quarterback who's gonna be elite. He's gonna be really, really good. He's just got another year to go. That's the way I see it there. That's what I see for the Chargers. But if he wins, then I'm okay with them winning. I'd rather the Chargers win than the Raiders.
The Chargers, out of those two teams, if the Chargers make the playoffs, they're the most dangerous bottom seed to me in the AFC.
I agree.
I don't know. Like the Chiefs, who knows what Chiefs are going to get? The Titans, another coaching job that we need to commend. Mike Vrabel, what he's done with the Titans, amazing. But the Chargers can go in there and destroy him if they wanted to. And then the Bengals, you know, it's still like the Chargers can very well just make it to the Super Bowl with an inconsistent team. But think about all the fourth down calls that Brandon Staley has made. It's come back to bite him in the ass a couple. Like same thing with the Harbaugh. Sometimes it comes back and bites you in the ass late in the season. So who knows what we're gonna get? But a question for you: if you had to start your team tomorrow, are you taking Herbert or Burrow?
Oof, man, that's a great question.
Redraft.
I'll tell you who I'm taking.
I'm probably going with Joey Burrow. I mean, he's
taking, and I love Herbert, but Joe Burrow's swag.
That's what I like. I like the swag.
He instills confidence in his team, and that to me is a big thing to have when you're able to just be cool. Like Joe, like they used to call Joe Flacco Joe Cool. To me, this is like the new Joe Cool or the new Broadway Joe. But not like Joe Namath, but like the new Broadway Joe, just cool guy.
Smoking Joe, bro.
Smoking cigars.
Get the gap. That's what we're doing.
I mean, if we're just talking arm talent, I think Herbert's got him beat, but the overall package, Joe Burrow's got everything that you look for in a quarterback. I mean, leadership, just swagger, like you guys are talking about, confidence. I mean, what he does, and especially with the offensive line that he has to deal with on a consistent basis. I mean, the dude takes a beating and continues to produce. So, yeah,
he believes in his team.
Quite frankly, though, Justin Herbert's the more talented quarterback. Just
cannon
on the field. To me, he's the most talented of the two. But the intangibles that Joe Burrow brings, on top of the fact that he has almost as equal talent, is why I'd probably go with Joe Burrow.
100%.
He has the locker room too. Like they believe in him. And I think
they love him.
The best thing that happened was getting Jamar Chase. And that shows right there. And they listen to him too on that. I guarantee they listen to him on that.
It makes sense.
For sure.
I mean, think about it. If we didn't get Devontae Smith and we got somebody that, Jalen Hurts had no kind of rapport with, I don't think Jalen Hurts would be as successful. But, I watch every snap of every Eagles game. There's plays in which, he's under duress and being chased around. Who does the ball end up in the hands of? Devontae Smith. He just knows where to find him. And they just have like a Dallas Goedert too somehow, but they just have like a connection. And Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow definitely have that connection. I mean, 266 yards, three touchdowns. He had more yards than Mahomes passed for. That's insane.
Yeah, I think if it comes down to it, I'm taking the Colts and the Raiders to go into the playoffs is what I'm going to pick. Just because Chargers are a little banged up right now too. Eckler's banged up. There's a lot of what ifs there. So, let's go talk about this boy behind me, man. Everything going good with AB. His first game back, he's got 5 receptions for 120 yards.
No, 10 catches for $115 in his first game back.
Exactly. And then against the Jets, he's underutilized and has an injury. And then we just see the greatest show on earth, take the top off and then run out.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Mike, what have you heard, Mike? I know you're a little bit more plugged in. So what have you specifically heard or paid attention to or kind of thing?
I mean, right now from both sides, it's he, she said, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, both sides have a different story. AB's coming out with the he was hurt, even though he decided to play. The Bucs thought he was good to play. And then he came, I guess in the halftime discussion, he told him he wasn't feeling good or whatever, decided to sit out, refused to go back in once they asked him to go in. And then, obviously the Bucs are saying we didn't know he was hurt, stuff like this. So it's just, I don't know, I don't want to make assumptions on what's going on. I'm not surprised about what AB has done. Again, he's shown a history of this in the past. So I just hope if he does need help, I hope he gets the right help. I'm not saying he does need it, but if he does, just seek the right counsel and make sure you get the proper help. Right now it looks like he just wants the attention, and obviously he's getting that. So I don't know what happened between him and the Bucs, because the last week, like you guys said, he had 10 catches, 100 something yards, looked fine. He tweaked his ankle a little bit in practice leading up to this game. But he still felt good in pregame. He looked good in pregame.
Was he ever on the injury report? Like, was he ever questionable?
He was on the injury report. He didn't practice, I think the last 2 days, and they were just going to test it out in pregame, and he looked good. And obviously early in the game, he looked good too. He's juking the crap out of, Jets defenders and making plays.
It's Jets defenders.
Did you ever see him limp off the field or favoring or anything?
And then, on top of that, he goes off the field and doing jumping jacks across the end zone. I mean, and then you're running, you don't look hurt to me, but apparently his camp is saying, he's got a high pain tolerance, and, obviously they were concerned about the injury or whatever. And I don't know. I think it's just, it's a mess. And, I think the Bucs will play it the right way. They're just going to hold on to him and find what they can do to, deal it the right way so he doesn't go on another team
and not get burned. Yeah.
Right.
Because the last thing you want is for the Rams to go get him too.
They're gonna punish him the right way and just keep him on the roster, and then they'll deal with it in the offseason, I think.
So you can go ahead, Rod.
No, go. You go.
All right. So Antonio Brown. So first of all, mind you, my last experience playing football was in high school. So, but again, this was on a high school level, and it wasn't like I played at some IMG academy or anything. I played at Gateway High School in Kissimmee, Florida. It wasn't like anything crazy. If you have any kind of, and it's been the same protocol for as long as I've known football. If you have any kind of injury, the protocol is you go to the trainer, or you go to the physical therapist. You go to somebody, especially now you're in the NFL with all these tents and money and technology and doctors on the sideline readily available for you. Mm-hmm. You go and you let them know, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Because what happens is, like, the coach Bruce Arians wasn't lying. I don't think he was lying when he's saying he didn't know anything about an injury, because you don't ever tell the coach, hey, I'm injured. Because that's the coach has so much going on, especially at that time in the game where they're losing to the Jets. No offense, but they're losing to the Jets of all teams.
Take it here,
right? So, do you think Bruce Arians is listening to all the crap on the sideline? Like, oh no, he's getting they have the headset. They're getting the information from upstairs, from the sideline. Hey, AB can't come back in, or oh, hey, so and so can't come back in, because that happens on the sideline. Antonio, so. Normally, what you would do if you were favoring an injury, obviously being on the injury report before that, they would know something was wrong with you, because you would go into the blue tent, or you go get it checked out. You put some ice on it, you wrap it up, you do something if you were actually hurt. I didn't see none of that. I didn't hear any of that happening. So the notion that if Bruce Arians said, hey, get back, because this is what I've heard and read, and I've been listening to so many different things. So basically, what I was told or heard was that in the first half, Gronk was getting a lot more targets. And Antonio Brown was mad that he wasn't getting those targets because he was playing a little banged up. So in the back of his head, man, I'm out here giving you guys my all, and I'm not getting targets. Well, the way the matchups dictated, Gronk was dominating the person that you know how Tom Brady is. Once he sees something he likes, he attacks it over and over and over and over. So he was going to give Gronk had 10 targets in the first half. Antonio Brown had 5 targets. Not like he didn't have any targets. He had 5 in the first half, which is that's nothing to sneeze at, and that's the way the matchup dictated. So apparently he was mad about that. Then he was using the injury as an excuse when he came back because he got off the field. They asked him they asked him to get in the game. He said no. And then they came back again. He's like, no, I'm hurt. And then obviously Bruce Arians doesn't know anything about this because no one told him that he was hurt, because the athletic trainer is supposed to tell you, oh, AB is not good. He's probable. He's doubtful. Like, you watch a telecast and if somebody comes off the field, you'll see Michelle Tafoya, Pam Oliver. You see somebody.
Right. Yeah, they go talk to them.
They even know if a player is able to get back into the game or not.
Right.
So how's Bruce and none of that was happening. I didn't see any of that happening. So no matter what, whether he was hurt or not, there's so many different ways to handle situations. And his track record tells me he's unable and unaware about how to handle situations. He has no situational awareness whatsoever. Like Facebook Lives in Pittsburgh, wet feet and chirotherapy with Oakland.
How's the GM a cracker?
Yeah,
my favorite
he's cussing out the guy that pays his checks. Yeah. He's threatening the person that accused him of sexual misconduct. He's beating up his U-Haul driver or whatever it was. Like the amount of, and when there's smoke, whenever I see something, I always look, what is the common denominator? The common denominator for the last how many years has been Antonio Brown. The fact that Mike Tomlin dealt with him for this long, like, damn, give that guy a perk of heart or whatever. Like, that is a lot to deal with. And it's been like this in college when he got kicked out of, was it FIU or something like that? Central Michigan, I heard like he was kind of crazy, but he was like a comeback kind of story. So they rooted for him. And when you see Antonio Brown on the field, yeah, he's a fantastic player. He's slightly undersized, but he gives it his all. Like he's a Hall of Fame talent. But his character, I don't care what was going on the sideline. That is not. I've watched sports my whole life. Okay, the only time I've ever seen anything even close to this was like when Dennis Rodman like headbutted a referee or took off his shirt and the clothes and left. Like when what is it, Vontae Davis or whatever it was?
I'll say him.
That was at halftime in a locker room. I understand that. Antonio Brown took off his pads, his T-shirt, his helmet, threw it across like a little petulant child, and pieced out the crowd. And it was at the Brooklyn Nets game the very next day. Like, I'm not. I don't care what the hell happened. If he was hurt, okay, God bless him. But there's a way to handle that. Bruce Arians is not knowing if you're hurt or not. He said, get back in. Like, we're losing to the Jets. No offense. You're losing to the Jets. I am pissed off. I don't care about what's going on. If you're hurt, then let the athletic trainer know I'm hurt, that you're hurt. Therefore, I can go to, what was it, was Grayson or whatever his name was? Then I can go to these other guys. So,
yeah, I think personally, like, this is the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to Antonio Brown. Like, no more chances for this guy.
He's gonna get another chance.
He could, yeah. I don't think
he will get another chance.
And if he does, it's because of his talent. People have to realize, like, I'm gonna get this with Antonio Brown, and I'm paying him for his talent, but there's gonna be a lot of off-field antics. I think personally, I don't think that he's gonna get another chance.
He shouldn't.
I just don't. He shouldn't, but there is that possibility he might. I think if you were to sign him, you're foolish as an NFL executive. The only way that I would sign him is I would say you need to go get mental help. Like, if this is happening, you're getting mental help, and we're going to drive you there, and we're going to sit in there with you, and we're going to watch how you talk. Because I don't know if
you can't do that. This doctor patient.
There's a way or something, man. There's a way or something. The doctor has to work for the company. I don't know, but like, you saw the doctor when he was like doing whatever it was, massaging him, he was farting on the doctor and shit.
Yeah,
like there's something wrong with this dude. And it's just crazy, because if you look at it like a regular job, if I'm sitting there during the regular workday and I'm on my computer and I just take my shirt off and I'm like, man, I'm
out of here. That means you quit.
Exactly.
I always said if I won the lottery, I'll do that. But
exactly, I would too. Dave Chappelle, that shit. I'm like, judge, pull that shit down, man. But like, you just quit on your team. You quit on your team in a pivotal time because one, you were hurt, but you look fine as fuck walking around courtside and eating dinner with Fabulous the next day. So it all doesn't add up, man. Just Antonio Brown being Antonio Brown. It's like Manny Ramirez being Manny, that type of thing.
Manny being Manny, that was my boy.
Well, he's a good baseball player, but there's a lot of issues with him too, just like with Antonio Brown.
Just like with Dennis Rodman, but they still put up with Dennis Rodman Dennis Rodman did worse. Like this guy was, they had to go pick him up from a Las Vegas hotel with cocaine all around him and strippers and prostitutes, and they brought him back for a playoff game. So that's why I know. And Antonio Brown, was he 34 years old now? So, you know, he's still kind of productive for his age. You know, it is kind of old for a receiver, but you know, somebody like, let's be honest, Mike. You see your roster right now. It's depleted, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, losing Chris Godwin, that hurts. And, you know, as a Bucs fan, I would love to still have Antonio Brown on this roster because, to be honest, he's a great player.
And
I mean,
even
really
after everything that just happened, you'd still want him on your roster, correct?
Well, I mean, with the things that took place, obviously not, you know, to quit like that. And that's
if you guys have a chance to win the Super Bowl and he will give you that option, that opportunity to do it, are you going to keep him or not? Be honest.
I mean, dude's talented.
Exactly.
I mean, so yeah, I would put him on the field.
That's what these GMs are thinking. Like,
yeah,
man, he's crazy, but
yeah,
damn,
and that's really the reason he's still in the league, because he is that good. I mean, if he wasn't good, he would be gone. We wouldn't talk about him.
Yeah.
But the point is, he is really good, and he could help the Bucs offense, no doubt, no doubt at all. But for what he did, and you know, the distraction that he obviously caused, and now, you know, just walking off the field, you know, I'm kind of in the mode of good riddance, and let's go win with who we do have. I know we still have Mike Evans, who I still think can take over games, and you still have other guys that they can count on, and you know, you still have Tom Brady, and Tom Brady figures things out. You have a great offensive line that can protect him, so there's still pieces to work with. But you know, obviously, it becomes tougher without a Chris Godwin and an AB now.
But that's what you have, Tom Brady.
Yeah, you have Tom.
That's what it is. You have Tom Brady. So
he brings the best out of everybody. But we said it best in a chat that we're in, Plus, that I think I said it, that Antonio Brown is an unnecessary luxury on the Bucs, if you think about it.
Yeah,
like when everybody's healthy, and you look, if Godwin was there and Gronk wasn't banged up, and all three of those tight ends were there, and playoff Lenny was there, he's an unnecessary luxury, and you really wouldn't need him.
It was kind of unfair, to be honest with you.
I think if Godwin is still playing, I think AB's cut already.
Oh, yeah,
like they don't even think about it. He's gone. You know?
Absolutely. So the fact that they're thinking about it, that's how you know. Like, look, man, talent is talent, and
there's also incentives behind it as well. The incentives,
right? It's a money thing. Yeah, there's money behind it. We can't really cut them without, you know, taking a big like dead cap penalty. So there's a lot of things behind
this.
That's
kind of detrimental, right?
Well, yeah, I think that's what they're working towards. They're trying to get that conduct detrimental, and see where it goes from there. And, you know, obviously keep him on the roster until the offseason, where he can't beat you in the playoffs if some other team decides to pick him up. So
that'd be hilarious.
I mean, you know, the Rams would call if, you know, he gets cut. You know, they'll find a way to get him on the team.
Bucs versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl Part 2, and AB's on the Chiefs.
That actually, I wouldn't mind watching that.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
All right, let's pivot to rants now. I know you want to do your rant, KK. You've been telling me about it, so you go first, man.
No, I'm gonna let the guest go first. Go ahead, Mike. What's been grinding? What's a rant that you just want to go on? What's been grinding your gears? What's been making you happy? What is it? Give me your 2022 rant. Go ahead.
There's so much I could talk about. You know, I could talk about how the Rays they're not smart and they don't do the right thing. I could talk about NFL coaching staffs and how they make things harder than it needs to be. The refs in all sports have been terrible.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think I'll keep it football related, and I'll talk about the Bucs coaching staff since I know them best. And, you know, I do, you know, weekly film studies on my channel at Real Bucs Talk, and it's just the same things over and over. I'm like, you don't have to make this harder for Tom Brady, even though he is Tom Brady and he makes crazy ass throws every week. Doesn't have to be that way. Like, they just make it harder than it needs to be, especially on both sides of the ball. Defensively, you know, you should be blitzing Devin White as much as possible. And that's, I guess that's my rant across the whole league. It's like I see these certain players and they're just not used the right way. And they continue to try to force feed them into these certain, you know, pegs in a square hole kind of thing.
Yep.
And like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can run certain concepts, you can run mesh all day and it wins against man coverage. You can do play action with over routes that win against zone.
Mhm.
And so really bottom line is teams not doing what works and they get away from it. And it just frustrates the hell out of me. I'm like, why are you guys, you know, football? And that's the thing. Football is a very simple game.
Very simple.
It comes down to blocking and tackling, execution, and really just winning with your best players and understanding how to use those said players. And for whatever reason, the coaches in today's game, they get too much in their head. They overthink a lot and they get into their egos pretty much. And instead of just doing the right calls.
It's the egos. That's literally what it is. It's
so
you know,
The male ego.
it's just somehow like they excuse me. For what I've noticed with that, just kind of just really quickly, because I do like to watch football a lot, and I don't watch it I watch it like kind of like you with the film study kind of thing. I don't actually break down film, but I watch so much football that it's film in my head because I used to break down film, and I'm like, man, did he not see this right here? They should come back to this, or why are they doing this? Why is this running back here, or why is the punter on the field over here? Like simple, minute things, and it's all because coaches. When you get to a level of the NFL as an NFL head coach, you want to be the smartest guy in the room. And to me, these coaches all want to be the smartest guy in the room. And you know, like I listen to like Brandon Staley of the Chargers about why he goes, and I get it, but like just some of it is like timing. Timing is the thing. Like, you know, we can have a whole episode about analytics, and I feel like analytics is ruining sports. But so like, you gotta take into the human element and analytics, like they all go hand in hand, right? And sometimes it's not the right time to go for it on fourth down. You don't have the right play call. Like that's that. All right, the Jets game. Zach Wilson.
Don't. That's my rant. Stop. Let me go on that. God.
All right. But all right, take it from here then, A-Rod. Go ahead.
Okay, so my rant, here we go. So I got like 3 of them. One will tie into another.
Yeah.
We'll start with New York sports, okay?
Ooh.
New York sports, I'm like so fucking pissed at you, okay? The Yankees have the cap, the cheat codes, the anything to do it every year, and they just can't get it done. They just can't beat the Rays, who are like the farm team, who literally are holding the keys to the city every time, okay? They just can't do it. So, and the Knicks, bing bong, is over.
It's
Cut
over.
that shit out. Win games, play scrappy basketball, sign somebody, sign one more big name player and put him on the team to pair with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. Please, for the love of God. And now let's tie in the New York Jets, okay? All you had to do was just keep losing games. Win a game. Thank you. That's all. In my books, win one fucking game, okay? So you're not horrible. You're bad. You're distasteful, but you're not horrible. You won one game and didn't go like a losing, like winless season. But if ever I was a fan of the Jets this season, it will always be when they play whenever they play Tom Brady. And of course the Bucs, because I got to go against Buccaneers fans and shoot the shit with you guys. We had you. We had you in the first. We had you in the second. Had you in the third. And the play calling in the fourth, we had some big pivotal changes that impacted us to put us in the position to win. You made Zach Wilson look like an MVP candidate that game. But I'm sorry, Robert Saleh. I'm a big advocate for you. I love you, man. You're a great head coach. Kick the field goal, man. Kick the field goal. Take as much time away as you can from Tom Brady, man, because if you give that man, they gave him, what was it, a minute 12? Was it a minute 12?
It was just, I think it was like a little over a minute and a half. I want to say like a minute 41.
The 40-second mark is the Tom Brady timeline. If Tom Brady has anything under 40 seconds, I'm pretty comfortable. I can crack a beer and say the game is done. Okay, but if it's 40 seconds, I'm biting nails. Okay, 39 seconds is okay with me. Crack that beer. But as soon as I saw them try and rush the ball with Zach Wilson, I don't give a fuck if he ran for a 53-yard run and 2 rushing touchdowns the game before. It ain't the Buccaneers. It ain't Tom Brady. It wasn't going to happen. You got all your fans in the Meadowlands wild up. They were all wanting this to happen. Like, we're going to beat Tom Brady, the Super Bowl champions. Oh my God. Meanwhile, inside, I'm saying, don't do this. But they were going to do it. So I was like, okay, it's Tom Brady. Fuck him. I don't care. And then you lose to a track star. You didn't lose to Tom Brady.
A guy that didn't play football in college.
He didn't even play football. Didn't even play a lick of football. He decided because he was that quick and the New Orleans Saints were like, we're trying out over here in the Bayou, come on through. He made the practice squad. And then he went to the next practice squad. And he went to the next practice squad. And it just so happened he was that good in the practice squad that Godwin gets hurt and they bring him up. And he catches a game-winning touchdown from Tom Brady.
Also,
this is my team.
That Zach Wilson quarterback sneak on 4th and 2.
Yeah, that was 6 feet.
I don't understand. Mike, can you please name your defensive linemen that you have that were playing on the field that day?
Well, I mean, that going up against that matchup, I mean, they should have handed the ball off to Barrios. I mean, Barrios.
Barrios. Give it to a running back.
Give it to somebody who's not. How big is Zach Wilson? 5'9", 200 pounds, soaking wet.
When he stands on phone books, yeah.
Well, first of all, Zach Wilson is 12, so there's that.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, they should have handed it to Barrios. I mean, when you look at the play, and I saw that play on tape, I was like, man, they had Barrios on the reverse. They had it. Like he would have won the edge because our safety Jordan Whitehead was looking in at the quarterback. He was actually scooting. No, he's pretty good actually. He was scooting towards the middle of the field. So they had it. I just don't understand running your 6 foot quarterback that's barely 200 pounds up against
Vita. He's not 6 foot.
coming off of injuries, by the way.
Yeah, and trying to do a QB sneak against Vita Vea and Dominic Sue,
who's 4 times his size.
Right.
But I don't know why they're riding that high that the motherfucker won he's got 2, rookie of the weeks or whatever, of the month, whatever. I don't give a shit. No one's going to remember that stat. You know, I'm going to remember that we almost beat Tom Brady and they decide to rush it with a 5'9" Mormon Mickey Mouse looking motherfucker. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Agreed.
There.
So it's funny because my rant actually stems
from one last rant.
Okay, go ahead.
My last rant is for you, Mike Pless. That's my rant for you. Mike and I had a fantasy football finals and I took him down. He wanted to play that nice Boy Scout shit with me and he got spanked. So fuck you. Nah, I love you. I'm just kidding.
No, it was a well-deserved win. Again, you had a great team and you really did a good job of picking up the guys at the right time. I mean, Armand St. Brown just kicked my ass. Like he pretty much took over. Russell Wilson.
Both my starting receivers went out.
Yeah, Adam Thielen the week of.
Out.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. Nice that you guys had that opportunity to be in some finals because I just had a horrible season personally. So, but actually,
we're in one.
Well, besides that, I'm talking about my personal team. My personal fantasy teams this year were a dumpster fire, and they were good on paper, but somehow the stars did not align for me. But my rant. So about a year ago, to the day, actually almost to the day, specifically a year ago, there was this, we played a Sunday night game against the Washington football team, where we pulled Jalen Hurts from the game. We put Nate Sudfeld in, and we went on to lose that game. And I was like, yeah, please, thank you, because I knew, and you can go back to my tweets because I document everything, and I said, perfect. Now we're going to get Devontae Smith. Said it in January, right? But after that's happening, I had to deal with the media for a week long, New York specifically, because that's why I said it kind of ties into yours with New York sports. This is a rant for Joe Judge, and this is a rant for the New York Giants, and this is a rant for the New York media. Okay, they talk so hard and like Joe Judge talks like he's done something before, like he's accomplished anything before. He's a little special teams coach from New England. So in his head, he's God, he's ordained, he's the guy, right? He comes to New York. He gets mad at us for losing to Washington so that his 6 6-9-1 or whatever they were, his 6-10 football team could sneak into the playoffs. They only won 6 or 7 games last year, and he's mad at us for losing to Washington so they can sneak into the playoffs. And he goes on and beats the table like, oh, it's integrity and da-da-da-da, and this is pathetic and bad look and blase. Cool. And I kept saying, look, at the end of the day, you do what's best for your team. I don't know why you're looking at our grass. Worry about your own grass. We got Devontae Smith, like I said we would. We have 3 first-round picks in the 2022 draft. We have we got figured out the Carson Wentz situation. We got Jalen Hurts. So with our first-year head coach, Nick Sirianni, our first-year starting quarterback, because technically this is Jalen Hurts' first year plus 4 games last year. Our first-year quarterback, our first-year receiver. Guess who's in the playoffs? The Philadelphia Eagles. Once again, we're back in the playoffs. Now look at the Giants. I watched the Giants game last weekend. They had negative passing yards. Negative 22 passing yards.
Yeah.
Yet Joe Judge is still worried about what we're doing last year. Mind you, we fixed our team within a year. Right. Now, after the game, he's beating the table again. Guys are begging to come play here. We have guys in the locker. We're not a trash organization. Guys want to be here. I had free agents calling me that they want to be here. I got guys on my team that wish they were back, that were here a year ago. You're 4 and what? What are they? 4 and 12? They are a dumpster fire organization right now.
They're a clown organization.
Dumpster fire organization.
Yeah.
And it's still in my head because I remember we did this A-Rod last year.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah.
And a year later, look at them and look at us. That's all I'm going to say.
But KK, isn't it funny that the Eagles traded up with the Cowboys to go get Devontae Smith 1 spot ahead of the New York Giants?
Yeah,
the Giants wanted Devontae Smith.
I know. Believe me, I know.
They traded down. They get Kadarius Toney, who has been okay, but again, injury prone and hasn't worked out. So I just thought that was funny that took place. Ultimately, it's kind of the just the knife right there in the back.
When that trade happened, you don't understand how much I laughed because I know they wanted Devontae. I was so scared they would get Devontae.
And then the Cowboys on top of that get Micah Parsons.
That hurt. But the Cowboys jumped ahead of us to get CeeDee Lamb a year prior. And I was so pissed off about that. And then they somehow do us a favor to jump ahead of the dumpster fire Giants. That was the first time ever that I was like, man, how about them Cowboys? And now a year later, Cowboys are, they're number 1 and they're in our division, and we are number 2 and we're in the playoffs. Meanwhile,
and I'm sorry to interrupt again, but on top of that, Justin Fields goes to the Bears, where Justin Fields should have been probably the Giants pick because
exactly
Daniel Jones. I mean, come on, he's just not the guy. He sucks. I mean,
and then they try with your boy Mike Glennon. Jesus Christ, like what the hell is that?
The war giraffe.
Neck for days. Oh my god,
it's so funny. I mean, look at that team. Honestly, they overpay for Galladay. They have Saquon Barkley, who can't stay healthy. They have Evan Ingram, who can't catch a cold. They have all these quote unquote weapons, and they get negative passing yards in a professional football game. Are you kidding me?
Sterling Shepard sneezes and he gets a concussion every time, man.
that you want to talk about dumpster fire, Joe Judge? You have inherited a dumpster fire, and they're saying they're going to bring him back next year. That's a very New York Giant thing to do. Yeah, let's bring him back. If they bring back him and Daniel Jones, they have no intention of being a real franchise. And I don't know what the Mariners are doing or what's going on in that city, but I'm happy about it personally. I mean, thank you. And we have 3. Keep in mind, we're in the playoffs, and we have 3 first-round picks in the upcoming draft. Thank you, world. Thank you,
crazy.
World.
That's crazy.
All right, so we got to start to wrap up the show, but before we do that, let's do resolutions for the new year going in. Who wants to start first?
I guess I'll start. I want the Rays to just be smart for once. Stop using the computers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Let your manager manage the game and use the correct instincts and start putting the best players out there. and let them play for a whole season. I would just like to see that, but I know they're on the Moneyball train and the analytics, and it's a great movie. I love it, but
Great movie.
it just doesn't work. Even though, I mean, they've been so close. I mean, obviously it's a formula for wins in the regular season, but you know, playoffs, you got to go with your best guys and let them go do their thing.
Luckily, they pay Franco, so
Right.
that's something to kind of hang your hat on. Like, oh, at least we got that. Go ahead, Mr. Any more resolutions, Mike?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
You know, hopefully Tom Brady plays till he's 50.
We'll see what Giselle has to say about that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. My resolution is I'm going to be more of a passionate Jets fan next year. I'm going to embrace what I've seen this year. I feel like with the 2 first-round picks that we have next year, a high one and a kind of semi-high one. I think they're both in the top 10.
They're both top 10. That's good.
So I'm going to be passionate and be more positive as opposed to being angry about it. Because one, I really like the head coach. I just don't like what we did with the quarterback situation. I thought we didn't address that the right way. But I liked all the offensive signings they did this year. I think the Jets are more intriguing of a signing place than the Giants are, in my opinion, right now. So I will be a passionate Jets fan next year is what I'm going to make as my New Year's resolution. They still suck, though.
I'd take Zach Wilson over Daniel Jones.
I would, too.
I would 1,000% Zach Wilson over Daniel Jones. All right, that's a good. All right, for me, just a couple. Obviously, you know, I'm a Phillies and a Rays fan, so I just hope that they just keep on the right trajectory and just make smart decisions. Now in football, you know, I'm happy with what the Eagles have accomplished this year. So just keep on this same path. Don't do anything stupid, and don't go using your 3 first-round picks for a quarterback. Please do not do that. Let's just continue to build on our offensive and defensive line. Get you some maybe a linebacker, whatever. Don't do anything drastic. My main resolution are both basketball related, though. Please, can we figure out this Ben Simmons situation so I can sleep better at night? And I want LeBron James to win another championship. And
I want
LeBron James to win one more, and then I'll be happy with whatever else he does. But please, Ben Simmons, I don't know what the hell's going on. Well, it's literally radio silent. My resolution is for him to get the mental help that he needs. And then we just kind of figure out what to do with it and move on. And everyone's happy at the end of the day with kumbaya. And that's it.
All right. Fun segment now. Let's wrap it up. Week 18 Pickems. Pless, you're in on it too, okay?
Okay.
So first game I got, Dallas versus Philly in Philly.
Well, Dallas is going to win.
You saying Dallas?
Yeah, we're not playing our starters.
Yeah, I'll go Cowboys Cowboys as well.
Yeah, Dallas got that one. I'm not even gonna. You know, I've not picked Dallas on the show yet. I will gladly pick Dallas because we're not going to be dumb and have Jalen Hurts do something bad to his body before the playoffs. Whereas Jerry Jones is, that's everybody play 4 quarters. Then I don't even think they have a chance at the 2 seed. I'm not sure if they do or not. So yeah, give me let Dallas do what they got to do.
I got Dallas too. All right, Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Hunting for that playoff spot.
I have Pittsburgh.
I got Baltimore.
Okay. I gotta beat you in this damn thing, so I'm gonna go Pittsburgh, I guess.
All right, I got Baltimore.
All right, next.
Even if it's Huntley, I got Baltimore.
Indiana versus Jacksonville, because that crazy stat out there, 2014, and haven't beaten them in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got the Colts.
Yeah, I got Colts as well. I think Jonathan Taylor has a big day and runs all over them.
Yeah. Looks like I'm going Jacksonville on this one and keeping it alive, man.
Right. Oh, you got to come up with this punishment for Mike. Don't forget.
Oh God. Pressure.
All right, next one. Rams San Fran at Rams.
I will go with the Rams.
Go ahead, Aaron. I got to think about this one.
Rams. It's in SoFi. They're playing for the 2 seed.
Yeah. I said it earlier. Give me the Rams. Yeah,
Right.
I did say this earlier. Give me the Rams.
San Fran, then. I'm going to San Fran.
Nah, you gotta go with the Rams, bro.
No, I got to win this shit. I'm not trying to
just get
I'm not
over
trying
it.
to lose.
You lost.
If I give, you're right. I did. Fuck it, Rams. And then the last one, Chargers versus Raiders.
That's the game.
Yeah,
That is
I'll go Raiders.
I really think the Chargers should win, but I'm just gonna go with the Raiders on this one. This is a season from heaven for them. Give me the Raiders.
I'm going Raiders too, man. Then we got a bonus. We threw a bonus one in there for the national championship game, Georgia at Alabama.
Alabama.
You know what, man? I saw what Georgia. I'm a Michigan fan. I saw what Georgia did to us, and I can't pick against Saban, but it's going to be very close. But I will take Alabama. But damn, it's going to be really close.
It's going to be close. It's going to be a good national championship game. But even you were saying, like, remember you were telling me, oh, Georgia's got that defense. I was like, it's Alabama. Do you see? First off, let's appreciate the swagger that Nick Saban has had this year. Yeah. He's talked his shit. The rat poison tastes good. You saw that? You saw that
picture?
The picture he had when he was like,
yeah, he knows, like, I'm good. I'm damn good.
He's damn good. And they're always somehow an underdog. And it makes no sense. Even when they're like,
listen, I'll be honest, this Georgia team on paper is definitely better than Alabama's. Alabama's had a lot of close, like Auburn, they should have lost. They lost to Texas A&M. They should have lost to Florida.
And I guarantee you those practices were hell, and they were never going to lose again. I guarantee you.
I mean, Cincinnati even played pretty decent. It's just they were just very small. Georgia made Michigan look horrible. Like they made us look like an FCS school. So on paper, defensively, Georgia is stout. It's Nick Saban.
Alabama has the better quarterback, and also they have a stud Will Anderson on the front that can get after Georgia.
He comes out next year, right?
I'm not sure if he's eligible for this draft.
Not this one, but like the next. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to come out. I would love him on my team.
Yeah, so I just think Nick Saban's got this one, and they find a way.
I agree.
All right. That's the show.
All right, Pless, come on. What we got? What's the punishment?
Oh, man. I guess I'll say whoever loses has to wear the other person's favorite team gear on the show. I guess I'll say for a month.
For a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wear no Jets hat. You look good in the Eagles hat, though. Don't worry.
It'll beat me anyways. I'm behind pretty far, so.
Can it be multiple teams? Like, can I do the Phillies 1 week, the Sixers 1 week?
Yeah, just your teams. Yeah, right. That sounds good.
Cool. I know you got them. I know you got the hats and the jerseys, so it won't be that hard.
I have a couple of them. We'll check it out.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll
rush them.
Yeah. If anything, you guys just meet up and swap some gear.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on the show, Mike.
No, I appreciate it.
If we have to play you guys next week, good luck. I feel a little bit more confident against you guys than the Rams just because of your injuries and stuff. But if you guys come back healthy, then I don't know what we're going to be able to do. But we played you pretty well early in the season. Don't forget. So, but yeah, definitely good luck for sure.
Always be careful for what you wish for. But yes, best of luck. And it was fun, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Be sure to check out my show every Monday, 9 p.m. on YouTube, Real Bucs Talk. Also check out my film studies with my co-host Mark Ramirez. And just love talking Buccaneers football, but we also talk pretty much the whole NFL, especially in the offseason. We get into draft content, free agency, a lot of good stuff. But yes, shout out to you guys on the Fair Weather Podcast. This was awesome. 50th episode. Very humbled and appreciative to be a part of it.
Mike, your film study is amazing, by the way. Just know that I definitely tune in because I am a football nerd and I have time to do stuff like that. So good job on that for sure.
It is definitely crazy. Also, when draft day comes around, he kind of gets the first round pretty in sync most of the time, which is very, very crazy.
We're going to start paying attention to what's going on, by the way, with the draft. because we're gonna have some pretty good mock drafts. A-Rod, I want you to be on your A game. We're gonna have some good mock drafts, and we're gonna be using Mike's film study to help us.
I'm not thinking with what I want anymore. I'm thinking,
yeah, it's not what we want. It's what honestly should happen.
There you go.
Exactly. I got to think that way. But yeah, that's the show. You can follow us on Twitter at fair_weather pod, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just search the Fair Weather Podcast. You'll find us there. And wherever you subscribe to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, we're there to find.
Fly, go fly.
Close